Hey guys, it's Michael. I have a quick update for you on the second stimulus check and second stimulus package. In today's video, we're going to go over how President Trump came out earlier today on Tuesday and said that he would support a larger stimulus package with an even bigger price tag than the Democrats' $2.2 trillion proposal, as both parties rushed to deliver aid to Americans ahead of the November election. After that, we're going to go over how House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin met in last-ditch negotiations on Tuesday aimed at reaching an approximately $2 trillion stimulus package just days before the November 3rd election, as Senate Republicans prepared to vote and pass a much narrower $500 billion second stimulus bill tomorrow. And finally, at the end, we're going to go over how House Majority Whip Jim Clyburn came out on Tuesday earlier today and said that the window is closing for us to get more stimulus before the election. It's still possible, but he says a couple of things need to happen. We're going to go over all of this and more, but before we get started, it would really mean a lot if you could like the video down below and subscribe to my channel. It's completely free to do so, and it currently says about 50% of you watching are not subscribed. So if you'd like to stay up to date on the second stimulus check, second stimulus package, as well as other news updates, then make sure to subscribe. Also, don't forget you can get 2 free stocks valued up to $1,600 when you download the Webull investing app using the link down below, and get $20 when you download the M1 Finance app as well. So, President Trump said Tuesday, earlier today, that he would support a stimulus package with an even bigger price tag than the Democrats' $2.2 trillion proposal, as both parties rushed to deliver additional aid to Americans ahead of the November election. During an interview on Fox and Friends earlier today, Trump said, "I want to pass an even bigger bill than the Democrats." He goes on to explain how not every Republican agrees with him, but they eventually will, and I want to do it even bigger because this is money going to people who did not deserve what happened to them with the virus, and it was completely out of their control. Trump then said that he would rather go bigger than the $2.2 trillion package from the Democrats, but he added that Pelosi doesn't want to do anything until after the election because she ultimately thinks it will help her. However, he said that he actually thinks it helps him because everybody knows she's the one who's holding up a deal and delaying this second stimulus package, and he said how people know she's been doing this for months now. Trump's remarks come hours ahead of a Tuesday deadline that Nancy Pelosi set for reaching a pre-election stimulus bill. And although Democrats and Republicans broadly agree that another bill is necessary to aid the economy's recovery, they sharply disagree over a couple of key aspects, such as the size and scope of the bill, and they are billions of dollars apart on that. They're unable to reconcile key policy differences on issues like virus testing, aid to state and local governments, and tax cuts for low and middle class families. Moving on, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin met in last-ditch negotiations on Tuesday aimed at reaching an agreement on an approximately $2 trillion stimulus bill just days before the November 3rd election. Pelosi came out and said this morning that if no deal can be struck by Tuesday, it will ultimately be too late to pass a new bill and get stimulus checks out before the election. Trump said Tuesday morning on Fox and Friends that he wants a large stimulus package, and he said, "It's very simple. I want to do it even bigger than the Democrats. Not every Republican agrees, but they will." And McConnell has said that they would put a bill up for a vote if something does pass the House. He says whatever bill passes the House, he will put up for a vote. They can't guarantee it'll pass the Senate, but he will put it up for a vote. Trump said ultimately he'll take all the votes he can get in the Senate, whether it's Democrat or Republican, because he knows that a lot of Republicans aren't going to be for a large stimulus bill. And with regards to what would be in this package, it is expected to include a second round of direct stimulus checks of about $1,200 per adult and $1,000 per dependent, expanded unemployment benefits at $400 per week, which is $1,600 per month, and an additional funding for state and local governments. Next up is Pelosi spoke on MSNBC yesterday on Monday night and was very optimistic about more stimulus passing. She said that Republicans have finally come to the table and they're going to try and get something done. Pelosi ultimately said that let's make a judgment. We may not like this, we may not like that, but both sides need to balance what they want and agree on something moving forward. And finally, House Majority Whip Jim Clyburn said Tuesday that the window is closing on a potential deal for a second stimulus package before the election, as House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's deadline arrives later tonight for Democrats and the Trump administration to resolve any differences they have to pass the bill. Clyburn, who is the number 3 ranking Democrat in the chamber, accused Republicans of not being willing to compromise with Democrats and argued that Nancy Pelosi is trying to stand up for the people who are being left out of this deal. He explained how he thinks there's still an outside chance that something could get done before the election, but the window is closing. Clyburn ultimately said that they are going to do what's fair. That's what they want to see done, and they're not just going to take any bill simply because it's something, he said. And that's what Republicans in the Senate want them to do. So anyways, that's what's going on with the second stimulus check as of Tuesday, October 20th, 2020. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to get your 2 free stocks valued up to $1,600 when you download the Webull investing app using the link down below. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.